Welcome to the video and demonstration of ARCA Trusted OS attested launch and ARCA verifier, a solution of SciSec that helps you to deploy confidential VM on CSP or hypervisor. So the idea of this demonstration today is to demonstrate how easy it is to deploy here on Microsoft Azure our solution thanks to multiple mechanisms. What is important in this figure is, let's say, the strategy on the side of verifier install on-premise. The strategy will define all the rules that applies to the new CVM creeds that need to be respected to be able to put. And also maybe worth to mention the configuration. Configuration is all the aspects, the information of the verifier that will be integrated in the VM of ARCA Trusted OS so that it can boot and authentify itself. So on the top right, this is the verifier. So let's connect to it with a default username. So what we need first is a config signature key. So this config signature key will be used to sign the configuration mentioned before. This configuration key can be stored in HSystem or HCOP, but also in clear database. So for the sake of the demonstration, we will just leave it as it is in the default database. So let's just give it a name such as config key Azure, as you can see in the schema on the top, on the bottom right, sorry. So once the config key is defined, we need to provide what is the main logic around this ecosystem is the strategy. So let's create a new one. So let's just give it a name such as strategy Azure, sorry. So now we're going to keep it as Azure, and let's set it as default and allow unknown TCP and CPU because it's mandatory for Azure. And we're going to select again our config key that we just previously clicked. So we can just have a look to the strategy we just created. So if we open it, we can see for now there is no appliance, new appliance, no TCP or no new instances. The next step is the config. So the config, as explained, give all the information that will be packaged and provided to the VM. So here we can put all the information, so the verifier URL, the ports, and as well the pinning certificate for TLS 1.3 communication between the CVM and the verifier. And I will also add my SSH key for connecting to SSH later when the CVM is boot. So what we receive here is a user data. This user data, I copy it, and it will be used later in the deployment of the VM. So the deployment of the VM, it's as easy as create a new VM as you may use to be. So let's create a new VM. We can provide here a name. So to respect the schema, let's call it ARCA Trusted OS CVM Azure. It's important to define it as a confidential virtual machine, of course. And you could also change the resources, but just leave it as it is for now. We don't have to define administrator accounts since it's already, everything is defined in the user data. So we can skip most of the parameters. We can just enable for the monitoring the serial console so that we can see what's happening when the VM is booting. And here, the most important part is the user data that we just copy on the verifier side. We're going to paste here. And once done, we can just review and create the VM. And that's it for the creation of the virtual machine. The rest is just waiting. So now if I create, yeah, we don't really need SSH key since I already provided in the config the user data. And now we just need to wait for Azure to deploy the VM, so it can take few seconds. And on the verifier, we can also see for now there is no instances. And once the VM has boot, what we're going to see is a new instance appear on the top right, and on the logs of the verifier on the bottom left, we will see some logs of the verifier that is connected, not the verifier, sorry, the new VM ARCA Trusted OS attested launch that's going to boot and authentify itself to the verifier. So just wait a few seconds more. So that is going to deploy automatically by Azure. So on the Azure side, we can go for the serial console. So it will give us few information of what's happening when the VM we just defined is going to boot. So let's just wait for the console log to appear here. So we see already few steps already happened. So this is the auto installation of the ARCA Trusted OS attested launch VM. And the next step is to be able to connect to the verifier thanks to the configuration we provided. So this is what is happening now. So you can see on the logs on the bottom left, request authentication challenge. We see many different information, but the most important is that we receive this new CVM, and it has been accepted with some condition, thanks to some condition we provided already, such as the allow and none of TCP or new appliance. So once everything is received from the verifier, the ARCA Trusted OS attested launch will be able to boot properly. So it should be happening soon. Okay, so the ARCA Trusted OS boot, so let's just help him not waiting for the 5 seconds. And now we can see that there is a new boot happening, and we can already see the appliance, the instance and the appliance here with a new automatically created appliance thanks to the auto enroll enabled, and the TCP as well thanks to what we enabled before. In the strategy, okay, yes. So in the strategy, what we can see here is that now we have linked appliance, TCP, and instances. And let's SSH now to this VM. So ARCA with the address IP. Yes, let's just put a basic password, change me, for example. So yeah, here, change, no, not. So let's just change the host name of the VM so that we can also display that the mechanism of audits. So every minute, the VM will send the reports to the verifier to be able to confirm that the VM has not been tampered at some point during its life cycle. So here we can see the first audits sent with the hostname ARCA OS, and now we have a new audit log sent, and the verifier see this change, and the hostname has been updated. Now, let's just do a quick example of what's happening if we change some setup. So we're going to not allow unknown appliance, and we're going to unlink the appliance of this strategy. So the idea is to show that if we reboot, so on the left side, we're going to reboot the VM. If we reboot the VM, it's going to try to connect to verifier, but the appliance is unknown in the strategy. And because of this, it will be refused by the verifier, and the VM won't properly boot and will be stopped before to reach the normal state. So let's see in the logs on the top left and bottom left. So on the bottom left, we see we receive a request authentication challenge, but it has been refused because, as explained, there is unauthorized appliance. So now let's put it back. So for that, we need to enable again unknown appliance / CPU. So once it's done, the VM is going to try to boot again, and this time we can see, yes, that it's booting properly, thanks to the modification we did again. So we can see a little bit, yeah, here there is an auto-enroll, and if we refresh the front end, we can see that everything is working and the appliance has been created successfully. So that's all for this demonstration. I hope you like it, and don't hesitate to contact us if you have any interest.